It's loading. All right, we're broadcasting live.
We're live,
gentlemen.
Hello, my name is Steve Ushler, and this is the Locked In Podcast, a podcast that was crafted by the minds of myself and my co-host George Mentai in September of 2020. This podcast covers everything from personal development tips, sports news, music, and more. In this week's episode of the podcast, we are going to be covering a sports special episode where we analyze 3 different sports. We're going to touch base on the Philadelphia 76ers as the season nears its end with 2 games remaining, and they're trying to lock down that number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. We're also going to touch on the Philadelphia Phillies and touch base on where they're at so far in the 2021 season. And we're going to wrap up with some Eagles post-draft talk, analyzing some of the moves that they made in the 2021 draft just a few weeks ago. This will especially be a great episode for anybody who loves Philadelphia sports in general. Featuring, as always, Steve Ushler and George Mentai, with special guests Mario Raffaelli, Thomas Vaughn, Andrew Knight, and Chris Mitchell. Enjoy the show.
What's going on, Locked In Nation? The Locked In Podcast, your home for personal development, some sports news, music, and more. You're now in tune with episode 34 of the podcast, where, as you just saw, we're going to be covering 3 different sports. We're going to be covering the Philadelphia 76ers, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Philadelphia Eagles. So, a little disclaimer. Is the audio echoey right now?
It's okay.
It did that last time, too, after this.
It does a little after the video. You're good, though.
You can hear me, though, fine, right?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
All right, cool. So, yeah, as you saw in the intro, we're covering 3 different sports here. Little disclaimer, Andrew is not going to be able to attend tonight. So we had Andrew Knight coming on for other external circumstances. He's not going to be able to come on tonight. No big deal. We got the 4 of us right now. Chris Mitchell is supposed to come in as well. He might be joining us on this live stream as well later on. We just went through the intro. We're going to start with the Sixers tonight. We're going to move our way to the Phillies, and then we're going to wrap up with the Eagles, going through some post-draft talk, going through the 2021 schedule a little bit. This is going to be a fun episode. So we're ready to just kind of hop into this one tonight. Before we hop into it, 3 things we got to do tonight, guys. Number 1, if you like our content, spread the word about our podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, hit that like button. If you like our content, hit that notification button so you can get our notifications. We go live every Thursday, every Friday, and we post content each week, so you don't want to miss it. Number 2, if you see something you like or want to just chime in during this podcast, comment down below, whether you're watching it on YouTube Live or Facebook Live right now. Comment down below, and we'll try to get to you. And if you actually want to call in, we might be able to bring you on as well. I'm going to put a little banner down below real quick. So you want to comment into the live stream, just send us a message or a comment down below. And we'll see if we can bring you on. But like I said, if you like what we're posting here, you just want to chime in for whatever reason, comment down below. We'd love to hear your feedback. Number 3, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, guys. It's 2021. Be true and be you. So we're gonna hop into it. As always, obviously, we're your host for the evening. I'm Steve Ushler, and on the other side is my co-host George Mentai. He's the other half of the Locked In podcast.
Yo.
And as you guys saw in the intro, as I said, Andrew's not here right now. Chris isn't here right now, but we have our 2 other guests that are here right now, Tom and Mario. I want to welcome you guys back to the show. They've been on the show before. So welcome back, guys, and thanks a lot for doing this tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Good to be back on the Locked In podcast, man. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah,
No problem. So yeah, we'll just hop into it. We're gonna start with the Sixers. Sixers play. Are they playing at set? They're playing at 8. You said, right, Mario?
it says at 7.
Now they pushed the game back to 8 o'clock.
Ah, okay, there we go.
Because originally it was a 7 o'clock game. Okay, so yeah, they did push it. Yeah, we'll hop right into it. We'll kind of just start here. So Sixers have 2 games remaining. We actually did an episode on this where we covered the second half of the season. And our schedule, if they win the next 2, it's going to come down pretty close to what our record prediction was, which I believe was 53-19. However, it's not possible for the Sixers to eclipse the 50 mark. Even if they win the next 2, they'll have 49 wins because there were some losses that, Joel Embiid went out, number 1, and then Ben Simmons was out for a little bit of a stretch, and, they lost some games here. But 2 games remaining, Orlando Magic at home. I say they're probably going to win both of them. I think they're going to clinch that number 1 seed tonight. A little frustrating. I honestly thought they should have clinched it on Tuesday against Indiana. I had a feeling they were going to lose last night's game because Miami has a lot to play for right now. They're not trying to face the Bucks, and they're not trying to face the Nets right now in the first round. So I knew they had a lot to play for last night. What are you guys' takes? You think they're going to clinch this seed tonight, this number 1 seed in the East? I think they're going to do it tonight.
They better clinch it tonight because if they don't, there's going to be a lot of pressure on that last game, especially if Milwaukee and Brooklyn keep winning. Because if they do lose this game tonight, and then God forbid if they happen to lose the last game, and not only do we not clinch home court, but we can fall all the way down to the 3rd seed. So let's just take care of business down tonight, man. Let's take this W and let's welcome home court for the playoffs. So I definitely had them losing to Miami. I wasn't surprised there. I was surprised with the Indiana loss. I'll agree with you on that, Steve. They played actually pretty good in that first half against Indiana, but then I don't know what happened in the second half. The offense just went cold. Indiana's defense really locked them up, and unfortunately, they just couldn't get the job done. But hopefully speaking, they'll be able to win tonight, and once they do, we shouldn't have anything to worry about in the last game.
Yep.
Yeah, good. I honestly thought in that Indiana game, very, very suspect calls down the stretch. I'm not one to blame the refs. To be honest, I think that every team needs to go out and put up a valiant effort no matter what. But I do think that there were a lot of suspect calls that went down in that game, especially towards the end for Indiana. So I don't know, but I also thought Embiid probably should have played that game. I know they said he was sick. I think he should have just manned up and played, to be quite honest, because that's a game where you could have won. I had a feeling they weren't going to win against Miami, unless they really just thought like, oh, well, we'll wait till Friday and Sunday when we play Orlando because we know we're going to win that game. But I don't really like that mentality, but we'll see. I think Miami, a lot of people were worried after last night's game because they were like, oh, Miami's a potential second round matchup. And the way that Miami was guarding Embiid, I mean, it's just kind of what you expect. It's probably going to happen in the playoffs. There's going to be constant double teams on Joel.
Pressure. A lot of pressure, bro. A lot of double teaming, It's always been like that with Joel.
Well, it's just
Yeah,
Joe
and
Allen.
that means if they're going to double team that means if they're going to double team Embiid, Ben Simmons has to step up. Meaning that if he's wide open, man, he has to hit that jump shot. Because that's
Yeah.
what they're going to do. They're going to double team Embiid, and they're going to dare Ben to shoot the ball, and he's going to have to step up in the playoffs. There's just no other way around it.
And it's also going to mean that Seth Curry and Danny Green have to hit their shots. There's no way around it. They have to knock the shots down. You can't. A first-round matchup, I'm going to say whoever they play in the first round is probably going to be fairly – I think they're going to be fairly easy in the first round. I think it's – I'm kind of hoping we play – I think, Tom, you were saying that. I kind of hope we play the Hornets in the first round. I think that's an easy matchup, to be honest. Even with LaMelo Ball, I think that's a sweep. Right off the bat, I think that's a sweep. So, you want to kind of play the Hornets, I think. But we'll see. I mean, also, Washington, with the way Bradley Beal and Westbrook are playing, I mean, Sixers will win that series, but could make it interesting with the way them two are playing. So I don't know. The play-in tournament, we really don't know who we're going to be facing yet, but yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen here. But 2 games left.
2 games.
Yeah,
2 games left.
Washington's guard play is really good. I think MB would really have to really perform in that series against the Wizards because I think I would take their guards over ours any day.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody on that team that can stop Joel. So yeah. I don't think it would be that much of a challenge. I think Washington might be able to get 1, if at the max 2. But I think even 2 is a little bit of a stretch. It all comes down to matchups. But Miami is an interesting matchup for us. We got to play them second round. They know how to defend. And although last night, I also don't know if Doc Rivers was showing all of our cards. We'll see what happens. But
he definitely wasn't. He wasn't showing the card. I think he wasn't. He's trying to save the best for last. But you're right, though. Good point, though, Steve. It's probably like MB being there. I mean, it could be a little different, you know what I mean? But
I mean, it's hard to know though because he could have been. I really don't know. We can talk a little bit about Dwight Howard's play. So if anybody was watching the game, and if any of you have heard, Dwight Howard has to face a 1-game suspension because he has 16. He just got his 16th technical foul of the season last night. It was honestly kind of BS. He got tangled up with Udonis Haslem, who was legitimately. He was legitimately entered into the game to start up his scrum. This dude's 40 years old. This dude was literally – I mean, I thought Udonis Haslem was a freaking coach for the last 4 years. That dude, I thought the dude was retired. They insert the guy's 40 years old, insert him to play in the game, and he gets scrummed up with Dwight Howard. He gets thrown out of the game, Haslem does. But they also gave a technical foul to Dwight Howard, which makes him miss a game. But they'll probably just make him sit out either tonight or Sunday. I don't know. I would sit him out tonight, to be honest. Let Paul Reed play those backup minutes, and we'll see what happens there. But I would let Paul Reed play because your worst case scenario is like you said, Marius. If they do lose tonight off a back-to-back, they are going to need Dwight Howard on Sunday. So I think your best bet is to. I personally think your best bet is to sit Dwight Howard tonight. That's just me. I'm not Doc Rivers, but I think your best bet is to sit him tonight. So we'll see what happens.
And that's going to be tough because the Orlando Magic have a lot of good forwards on that team, good young forwards. I mean, Mo Bamba has been he's been a lot better lately. Like he went from 4 points a game. He was looked at as a bust before the season, but lately he upped from 4 points a game to 11 points per game over the past 2 months. So, I mean, that's going to be tough for whoever's filling in for both Embiid and Howard if Embiid's not going to play.
It's a good point. I personally think even with Paul Reed, the Magic are a really bad team. They have ways to find ways to win. I mean, they're honestly the third or fourth worst team in the NBA, and we are playing in Philly.
And the Sixers have had trouble with Orlando this season or last season, something like that.
Yeah. It wasn't this. It was last season, but. Orlando, but you got to remember when we did play Orlando, they had Aaron Gordon, they had Vucevic, they did a fire sale. Vucevic is now playing for. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marius. Is he playing for the Chicago Bulls now? Vucevic?
I think so. Yeah.
And I know Aaron Gordon went to Denver, so they did kind of a fire sale. Their kind of goal is to build around Fultz a little bit, which is actually kind of comical.
And one
of the irony,
dealing with the floppy seconds on the other end, but. That's kind of comical, but yeah, losing Aaron Gordon, and I think even bigger than Aaron Gordon, Vucevic. That's why they've been so bad.
Vucevic was a double a game every year too.
And
another guy who used to be on the Sixers, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Yep, he did. I honestly think the Aaron Gordon pickup by Denver was absolutely perfect. I think that Denver, that was a missing piece for Denver, and I thought that was a really, really great pickup by Denver to get Aaron Gordon. It's just a shame that Jamal Murray's out for the remainder of the year. So,
is he out for the playoffs too?
Yeah, he's done.
Wait, what happened? I missed that one.
I forget what his injury was. I don't know, it was ankle or his knee.
Something with his knee, I heard, right?
Ooh, that's big for.
Yeah, Mary. To get the research on. I forget exactly what it was, but it was season. It was ending. It's a shame too. I think he went up on a jump shot or something, or he came down. He landed. No. You know what? He was going, I think, to the basket, and somebody he landed awkwardly.
ACL tear. So
yeah. ACL tear in the left knee. He's out for. You're usually out for 6 months if you tear your ACL.
Yeah, that's big.
At least.
That opens up the West a little bit now.
Oh, that sucks. That's a tough break.
Sixers aside, I'm excited to kind of see what the West is going to have going on and what they're going to have cooking up because, let's be real, LeBron is not 100%. He's not. He's got that high ankle sprain. He's not going to be 100% come playoff time. He was actually already kind of talked about that in an interview that he's not going to be 100%. It's going to be interesting. Anytime LeBron's not 100%, it becomes wide open because LeBron usually gets to the finals. Doesn't always win, but he gets there.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting.
For the finals.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be an amazing story. Like LeBron wins 3 different series on the road to go to the finals.
Right.
That'd be awesome. Another feather in his cap.
That would just be Bron being Bron, to be honest.
Yeah. Another
you tell your grandkids about.
Another highlight of being the GOAT. You know what I mean? If he actually does, this and takes him there. Because even last year, a lot of people, we're not really, saying. I mean, it was the beginning of the season was a little different, but by the end of the season, we also kind of what happened. With the break with COVID and all that. LeBron kind of showed up when he needed to. Not being 100% could give some opposition some hope, which is always the case with a LeBron or you know what I mean. A player
I call that the studio season because that whole arena looked like it was like a studio, like a sound stage and not like an actual arena.
You're talking about last year or this talking about right now?
Last season when the Lakers won it.
Yeah,
it was at Disney World.
It was in the bubble. It was in the bubble.
They had LED lights all around and stuff. It was really weird.
It was hilarious, but I'm glad.
I was just happy. Last year, I was just happy to see basketball back, man. I didn't really care where they were at.
There you go.
It was just good to see the game.
It was dragging a little bit, but
it was.
I said, I'm happy that we did it. Matter of fact, real quick, guys, you guys probably know this, but me and Steve that was actually one of the topics we covered in the very first episode. And actually, if you guys remember, we went pre-recording. It was late August. It was September, and we talked about the effects of COVID, and definitely sports was one of them. How he kind of killed sports a little. He killed the whole entertainment business, the vibe. But then, music, there was no concerts. There was nothing really going on. And then, we see how things kind of progressed. By October, it was a little different. Season, finished up around that time. Because, we were backed up last year. And then everything kind of started this year a little later. But we're going back, we're kind of somewhat back to normal. And apparently, capacity is going back to normal, according to some of the.
So it was like a short, fever dream. But it's no different from World War II when a lot of the baseball stars went to war. Ted Williams went into World War II and all these
crazy.
And that was 3 years. So he's gone for 3 years, came back, was never the same. This is the dude that was hitting 400 every year. He was before back from war, he's never the same.
The PTSD, bro. Blame the war, bro. Blame the, he got shot at. He's seen everything. He's seen that baseball's more fair than life. More fair than life, but the war is a little harder. You know what I mean? He was never the same after that, but a good hitter, though.
Imagine being in Anzio like the Irishman, you're playing baseball, all of a sudden you're in Anzio, and then you have to come back.
Yeah.
Very true. Man, so if we're talking Sixers, say they get the 1 seed tonight. Guess I'll kind of go around. George, what are your aspirations? Where do you think the Sixers are going to go this year? How far do you think they'll go if they get the number 1 seed tonight?
Oh man, I wish I could go to the finals, bro. That's kind of like, to be honest, to be fair, not capping on like that, but I always felt like this year, because like we spoke about last episode with Heath and one before that about sports, it seemed like a build-up time. So anytime post 2015, like 2016 to about 2020, let's just say 2020, that 4-year period, we build up so much. And I'm pretty sure that if LeBron had chosen not to LA, this conversation would be different. We'll be like, when do we go to the finals? Not if or maybe. So I'd like us to go to the finals. I think we could go there, but if not the finals, probably the game before that. But I mean, I don't know if we're going to win realistically. I feel like we could go if we get the first seed, first seeding. So I mean, like I said, we'll see. But I think they could go there. It depends how they do between the last few games now, which is again, this month is really crucial because it's May. So you know what I mean. I think we're going to beat them today. By the way, we're going to win the game. I think. I'm just trying to catch the game and it's not letting me.
Yeah. If we don't get there, who do you think knocks us out?
I think honestly, I feel like Brooklyn kind of had a good chance, because of the players they have. But I don't, because I didn't follow up all the games. I don't. Did we already beat them or we lost to them? What happened to the previous game with Brooklyn? Or we didn't? We did play Maple. Did we not play?
We won the season series 2-1.
2-1.
But a lot of their players were out too. Remember?
Exactly. And of course, not to get another topic, but Michael Rappaport had a little squash, a little beef, a little squabble with Kevin, Durant and all that. So, a lot of stuff happened with that, but that's a little besides the point, you know what I mean? But like you said, a lot of injuries kept a lot of their players. Nothing to take away from the Sixers. I just think we played a little better, but, because I was looking at some statistics, it seems like the rebound king has been between Tobias Harris, and obviously Embiid and Simmons. But, I mean, Embiid obviously is a beast, so I was looking at the record for rebounds. Shit, this dude is all over the place, man, and to think that he came back and the injury that we saw, which we broke down here live, he happened live on our last sports show we did back in like April, late March or April. I mean, that was it was a pretty good feat, a pretty good in March. It was in March. I'm sorry, but that was a good comeback for Embiid. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was like 2 months ago.
What do you think if anybody knocks us out and knocks us down from as far as our conference? We think it's actually going to be if it happens. Who thinks gonna beat us? Don't tell me it's Miami. I mean, Miami could, but I mean, you think that's gonna be or Brooklyn, right? Yeah, I just feel like Brooklyn is, they know our style a little. We're kind of close to games, and they have a good team. I'm sorry to cut you off. You know what it is? It's just the fact that they have like the players to kind of match a lot of players. I think that's the biggest key for Brooklyn to beat us. But I mean, since we're leading in this, in the series a little bit, I feel like we have a little confidence going in against them if we were to, somehow,
I don't really think it's necessarily Brooklyn matching our team, because I think it's like completely different types of basketball. We play more defense, but Brooklyn has a super team, and they got Harden, they got Kyrie, they got Durant. The offense, like the Sixers, got to find a way to keep up with that offense. Is our defense going to be enough to stop their offense?
That's what I mean by that.
At least to allow us to score more, because there's nobody on that. There's nobody on that Brooklyn team that can guard Joel Embiid either. So there's nobody.
That's my point exactly. And I have this thing about the Brooklyn Nets. There's just some about them that doesn't seem like consistently cohesive. Like they're a really good team, but at times they lose games they should win. I'm more fearful of the Milwaukee Bucks because I think the Sixers have had more trouble with the Milwaukee Bucks.
But here's the point I'll raise to that. We haven't played Milwaukee out of the 3 games we played them this year. We lost all 3, but we did not play them at full strength all year. So that's the one argument I'll make there, is that either Simmons was out or Embiid was out. We didn't play them at full strength. And 2 of the games we were close. One of them wasn't really that close, but
I think it would go to 7 games. I'm not saying that it gets swept, but I think that in a 7-game series, it might be like Toronto. I
do agree. I think I think either Brooklyn or Milwaukee, it's going to be a 7-game series.
I think Brooklyn, they could take Brooklyn, and that'd be a close series too. But I think they'd have a better chance of Brooklyn, because I just don't think they have the endurance to go all the way, because they have 3 guys on that team that have had injuries. Like Harden had injuries this year. Kyrie Irving has had several knee injuries. Kevin Durant has had an Achilles injury. I mean, and that's your 3 best players. So
season,
and the Sixers. I mean, Embiid has endurance issues, but Ben Simmons never gets hurt. So I think, and they're younger, so I think they could easily take them in a 7-game series. I think the Nets would run out of gas very late.
Okay. There's actually a few people. There's a decent amount of people that have the same type of kind of viewpoint as you do. That that like they think that we have a good chance against the Nets to beat them. I think we could beat them. I just wish I had that type of confidence. Those guys are still dangerous as hell. You put James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie and Durant both have championships, so they've been there. They've been to the finals. They've won. Granted, Durant won with a Golden State team. He snaked out and went to Golden State to get his 2. And Kyrie won with
the
great
part of that too. He was a big
snaked.
Part of
yeah.
To be
fair,
true, he was a big part of those championships.
You want to be with the big boys. You can't beat them, join them, basically, But I mean, we already spoke about that in the past. But a lot of people think Durant for doing that.
He is a snake, and nothing.
Yeah, bro, Steve, you got it, Steve. I think one of KD's burner accounts is on our chat, bro.
Oh, put that in there. He wants to fight me.
Pretend, you guys, look at the chat room, guys. We're getting heavy. Somebody said, "Who's the kid with the with the headphones on?" Somebody said, "Stevie doesn't know what to talk about."
Durant told me to meet him at 15th and Race. He wants to fight me downtown.
He's too busy,
right,
bro.
Looks like I'm on my way to pick you up, bro. We'll go down there together.
Guys, it's pointless, bro. He's got bigger fish to fry. He's got Michael Rappaport waiting with a sniper. He's got lawsuits. He's got injuries. He's got Rihanna suitors waiting for him. It's not happening right away, Steve. But let me know.
Michael Rappaport's a clown too. So, but
he's another one. I can't stand him. I rather listen to fucking Stephen A. Smith compared to as opposed to him. Michael Rappaport speaks with kind of like his fondness. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. Like his passion. This is what it is. Yo, don't come to my sport. It's not a kung fu fight. Shut the fuck up, Michael Rappaport. You're only known for fucking playing a skinhead. Get the hell out of here, man. Nobody cares about your opinion. I never saw you play basketball.
My thing with him is he was a Knicks fan and then he jumped shit when the Nets got good.
Yeah, he's a bandwagon hopper, bro. He's a bandwagoner. Come on, man. I mean, and I like the guy because, I mean, he's kind of like
a New York thing to do when you have 2 teams in each sport. Like when the Yankees suck and the Mets are good, they all go on the Mets bandwagon.
They always do that, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, man. I can never do that, bro. I can never do that, man. I'm
root for the New York teams. They root for
I'm so loyal to my teams, bro. I just can never imagine doing that. Like if there were like I can never imagine like not being disloyal to my squads, man. Like if I like a team, bro, I'm gonna stick with that team. I don't care how bad or poor they're doing.
No, here's the exception you can make. Here's the exception you can make, unless ownership is very bad. Like I was really close with the Sixers because I do not like Josh Harris. I think he's not a good person, right? So I was really close, and he tried to get an arena on the waterfront with that was fully taxpayer funded during a pandemic, and the city lost money on tax revenue. And of course they said no, and he's like, and then he acts all surprised, like it's hard to like. I like the Philadelphia 76ers. I just don't like Josh Harris, and I hope that he sells the team sometime to someone that actually cares.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, real quick. I was going to say, and then I'm going to let you hear the word, Steve. Like Mary just said, he made a good point. He said, if you got to be a fan, you got to be a fan all the time. Where were all these naysayers and nut huggers? When the Sixers were, essentially one of the worst teams in the NBA at one point. Remember, like 2014, 2015, we're rebuilding the team. So those that stuck around, man, they're the real supporters, fans, real allies, real basketball goers. People understand. Those are jump wagon, just casual fans that just want a team that wins. So they ride. I mean, they're riding Miami when LeBron was there like 7 years ago. Now it's like, oh well, Indiana, the Golden State Warriors, blah blah blah. Because still Steph Curry and all that. So I mean, I like players that fans that actually understand the sport a little. Have played a little. Also can differentiate between a team going through it and a team just not playing well because whatever players have been lazy. And let's not get it confused. We're just rebuilding our team back in like 2015, I think it was. Remember with the period when we're on a rebuild. So
trust the process.
Yeah, it's trust the process.
Yeah, we were 9 wins and 73 losses that year, bro.
Don't remind us.
No. Here's the thing about that. I feel like that emboldened the fan base when Sam Hinkie got here and stripped away all the assets. Because there was a period of time of like 10 years, like from the time Allen Iverson got traded, like through the Andre Iguodala era, where every other year they made the playoffs as an 8 seed and barely missed the playoffs. And that turned off a lot of fans, and people stopped going to Sixers games. And for a long time, Sixers had the worst attendance until Sam Hinkie got in, and attendance was still bad, but when the tickets got to be like $5 and a free beer, a lot of people started going.
$5 and a free beer. I
And
like
they invested into the product. It's like, all right, we suck now, but we're going to get a first overall pick, which turned out to be Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And all right,
that revolutionized us. Let's
take this out, and here we are. We're on the cusp of winning the number 1 seed of the Eastern Conference. So, and we have the best attendance, even with one of the best attendance rates, even with the limited capacity, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean, yeah, it's at one point we were 10-72, so
yeah.
just to show how
that wasn't optimistic, because even when they were really bad and like doing like some of the dumbest stuff I've ever seen, like even the fans were like, all right, it's around the corner. I mean, we're bad now, but let's enjoy it. And I think that was different than when it was Eddie Jordan as head coach and they sucked, but it was like, how are we getting out of this? You know, there's no end in sight of this stuff, you know?
Right. I feel like a lot of the NBA still hates the Sixers for tanking, but and I'm not even really going to go bandwagon or anything from people not watching back then because they were a very, very hard product to want to watch. So people that started becoming fans, I'm not even going to say they were bandwagons back then. And even if I don't really care about bandwagons, to be honest, like some people really, really hate bandwagons. Like, whatever, come and join us then. You want to be on the ship? It's like, I personally really don't care. Like, it is what it is. But
if you're like a 9-year-old kid, the Sixers are good, but they live in like Washington. Like, root for the team all you want. Buy the stuff. It makes the team stronger. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, unless you're certain people that are Eagles fans.
We are one of the hottest teams right now. I mean, again, it just shows you that, you know, a lot of people are not serious and they jump on anybody. I mean, I could have been a fan of the Brooklyn Nets like 5 years ago, or you know, any team. I mean, you know, the Bulls. You know, just because I rep the New York, you know, shirts or hats, you know, doesn't mean that like, you know, I'm not going to root for my team. But there's other good teams out there. It's just about recognizing who deserves it more, who plays better. Like last year, it is what it is. But the Lakers kind of just deserved it. In the midst of everything happened this year, I mean, with, you know, you have the Lakers, you know, you have the Sixers, you have Miami, you know, the Nets kind of, you know, like brought up. And again, they also a franchise. They rebuild their team a little. You know, it wasn't like it happened overnight. I mean, you know, with Kyrie in there and all that. Some people hate on Kyrie. Something is great. I think he's a good player. I don't know about personality, great. You know what I mean? But as a player, I like him. You know.
Yeah, it kind of did happen overnight. Realistically, man, they just kind of put the superstars in play and they traded the entire farm for Harden. So
yeah. I was happen overnight. They were happen overnight.
They initially tried the Sixers strategy, but they accumulated assets, which was the first part. They used those assets to trade for stars.
Yep, LeVert, Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie actually still he's hurt, but they got rid of LeVert. They got rid of Jared Allen. They got rid of a lot of guys in order to build that team they have now. But yeah, they gave up the farm for Harden. They gave up a lot for James Harden. But you know he has to win a championship for them either this year or next year. If they don't win this year, it's going to be a lot of questions. The time for them is now. They have to win now. Whereas the Sixers don't necessarily have to. But I think this will be a disappointing season if we don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is going to be a super disappointing season. We better get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And if we get to the Eastern Conference Finals, we better at least make it a series. We better not get swept. If we get swept,
there's almost no excuse not to. And I think if that does happen where they lose in the East semis, I think people are going to start to ask, should this be blown up? Should we like go in another direction? Should we try to get what we can for Embiid? Should we move away from Ben Simmons?
Ben Simmons will definitely be a question. I don't know about Embiid. I think Embiid will still be here, but the Ben Simmons will be a question. I'm going to tell you right now, there is no excuse we don't. If we lock up the one tonight, there is no excuse we don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I think that's the minimum expectation.
Yeah, because
you guys think like we'll go there and we might lose, or what do you guys think could happen? I mean, I don't think we'll reach the NBA Finals per se, maybe not this year, but the conference finals, dude, I feel like we can even win it, or at least, you know, make it a good series and back and forth. Because, you know, stuff happens in this, you know, 7-game series, but if we lost like in a 6 game, I would be mad at that. I think that kind of defines our season. We're good enough to go to all the way to the finals, and to win it. But we need a little more, maybe a little more consistency. But like you said, Steve, I didn't see the game against Indiana, but petty calls. Come on now,
I'm gonna be honest. Milwaukee is a lot of people are kind of taking your look too, Tom, about Milwaukee. The only thing I say is Giannis. It's going to be tough for Giannis in a half-court set in the playoffs. We've already seen this with Giannis in the East before. They're a 1 seed, but they struggle in half-court sets in the playoffs. They do. They struggle. I will say that picking up Jrue Holiday was a big pickup for them, but I am going to say that I don't think there's an excuse we lose to Milwaukee. I really don't, especially with the home court advantage. I think that could be a 7-game series, but if the 7th game is on our home floor, which if we lock up no matter what against Milwaukee, it is going to be on our home floor. Brooklyn is the only one that can take it from us at this point. I don't think there's an excuse. Brooklyn, on the other hand, I don't know. Those guys are just such ballers. I do believe that it's tough because, I don't know, Brooklyn's defense is starting to get a little better. I think we could beat either one of them if we play our game and we play to the top tier. It's like you said, Marius, though, Ben Simmons will have to step up. He will. There's no excuses. He's going to have to step up. If he steps up, he's the key to this entire thing. If Ben Simmons steps up, it's a wrap. I don't think either of those teams – Brooklyn can beat us still, but I think we have a very good chance against Brooklyn if he does step up. And I'm going to be a little disappointed, especially if they don't make that a series in the conference finals. If they don't get to the conference finals, I'm going to be significantly disappointed. Yeah. I think there's no excuse.
Well, I mean, if we lose these next 2 games, man, it's a possibility we might not get to the finals, bro, because if we don't have home court, that's going to be hard.
There's no way, man, if we lose these 2 games and it was a fluke, there's no way we're going to lose these 2 games. Not back to back. I'm not even worried. They will lock it up tonight, mark my words. But even if they didn't, I would not fear on Sunday because I just really think the Sixers would just come out and annihilate them. It's not going to happen if they're going to lose 2 to that team.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I think if anything, it goes like 1-1. Like let's just say hypothetically lose today, we're going to win the next game, which is in 2 days, the 16th, against the who are you playing again?
Orlando.
Yeah, we played the Magic twice.
Yeah, twice. But realistically, like Steve was saying, there's no way we're going to really lose both of them because we just worked too hard. Now, of course, stuff happens. If it's a complete turnaround, Tobias Harris gets injured. Embiid he didn't play the game. Say they bench him again. Simmons is off. Yeah, shit can happen. But we beat these 2 games though. We got to worry for about the other teams like you said Milwaukee's another one. So I probably our biggest competitors in the East are definitely Brooklyn and Milwaukee. But we beat the series with Brooklyn already past that. But who knows? If there's another game, But
but here's the thing though. When we played Brooklyn though, man, both teams weren't fully healthy. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with full health because they're going to have Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, and we got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and the rest. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I personally think if we get home court, I really do think we're going to the finals. I think we can beat Milwaukee. I think we can beat Brooklyn if we get the number 1 seed. I have Philly going to the finals.
And if Ben Simmons elevates his game, he will need to elevate it. He's gonna have to elevate it. If Ben Simmons
Say that again.
I'm getting tired of honestly talking about it, but it's dead serious. I'm a huge Ben Simmons fan, but I recognize his need to elevate his game. If Ben Simmons can elevate that game, it's honestly a wrap. The Sixers will go to the NBA Finals, and I think if we beat Brooklyn, I honestly think if we beat Brooklyn and we go to the NBA Finals, then we can win it all because I really think Brooklyn is the best team. I think they are going to be the toughest team in the playoffs, especially with LeBron and AD not being 100%. I really do think if we get past Brooklyn and we get to the finals that we can win it. Now, there's a few teams in the West that could come out of it. It could be Utah. I think Utah will be a really fun series. Again, might be 7 games, though, and that's going to be the key. See, if we go against Utah will have the home court. We're not catching Utah for home court.
Denver's going to be tough, too. If it's Denver, they're going to be tough as well.
Yeah.
They'll be tough. Denver's not going to have
another one that kind of scares me. They're really good this year.
Phoenix?
Yeah. They're like 2nd place in the West.
Yeah, they are.
I was about to say that next time. I was going to go with Phoenix next.
The only thing about Phoenix is they're young. So Devin Booker and them haven't really seen playoff matchups. The only one who
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then don't forget about the Clippers, bro. The Clippers are a sleeper with Kawhi, man.
Oh yeah, the Clippers are a favorite for a lot of people. They really think
they're sleep. In my opinion, they're the sleeper out the West, man. Everyone's focusing on Phoenix, Denver, and Utah, man. I think they're forgetting about the claw up in LA, dude. So don't count out the Clippers yet.
Here's the thing: Kawhi's battling a foot injury.
Yeah.
He's battling a foot injury down the D-Lo, so that's another thing, man. He might not be 100. That's what I'm saying. The West is so wide open. You got LeBron and AD not 100%. Kawhi's not 100%. Patrick Beverly was battling some injuries early, too, for the Clippers. With Phoenix, I think Phoenix is fairly healthy. I don't really think anybody's injured on Phoenix. Remember, Donovan Mitchell was battling some injuries. So for Utah, and then obviously Denver's missing Jamal Murray. So this is the West is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I really don't know who I would pick out of the West. Maybe Phoenix, but that might be a favorable matchup for the 76ers. And the thing about the 76ers is this team, at least in my estimation, is better than the one that lost to Toronto in 2019.
Yes.
I mean, they have better three-point shooting. They have a lot more depth. I mean, Ben Simmons, I would like to see more out of, but still, I think he's still a very talented, very good player.
Right. We spoke about this actually.
Embiid,
Ben Simmons is actually a little higher up. He's elevated
Jokic, but
yeah. And also Embiid, like we spoke about it with Heath, and I believe you were there, Marius. He's actually a little bit coming of age in 2020, 2021. In 2019, he was good, but it's like he's definitely got a little. I would say stepped it up a little. You know, it's just as cliche as the phrase sounds.
Yeah, he's starting. He's starting to enter his peak. He's starting to enter his peak.
Exactly. Same thing with Ben Simmons.
Yeah,
Ben Simmons is young, guys. He's younger than you guys. He's born 93. He's what, 28? I mean, he's not that young.
No. He was born in 96.
Ben
so
Simmons,
he's like 20.
Oh, yeah. Ben Simmons is young, bro. He's only like 24, 25.
Okay. I was thinking about that. Like, I don't know. I was confused. I thought I'd seen it, though. I thought I checked that. He's born 96, so he's 24 then. Almost 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's young. I think his birthday's this summer. He's 24, I believe.
I think it's in July. Yeah, I think so. I thought it was July of 93. He's 96. Okay. So he's a little younger. And you have Embiid there. We're a young squad, man. Yeah, we're still a young squad. We're not really like,
Yeah.
No, again, I think what brings the age up is the veteran bench. And everybody's forgetting, I think, on this is the Sixers have an elite defense. Like, their defense is like top 3 in the NBA. I think that'll get them very far in this playoffs. It's even better than it was in 2019. And I think that would be really helpful in the playoffs when those games get to like half court grinded out. And I think that's where the Sixers will shine, where they didn't in previous years.
Matisse Thybulle unlocked his cheat codes over the last 2 years. Matisse Thybulle was not the same. That's the difference between 2019 too. Ben Simmons has elevated his defensive game, and Matisse Thybulle is a Sixer.
He's unbelievable on defense. He's changed everything for them on that side of the ball.
Yeah, 100%. Thybulle is
Embiid, it goes without saying, he's really good defensively too.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm curious to see. And it all starts with tonight getting that number 1 seed. They lock it up. Just think of and another critical factor. We'll get to the Phillies in a second, but another critical factor is I saw that the Wells Fargo Center is now going to be 50% capacity for the playoffs, and by June, if everything goes well with the city, they can move to 100%, which is going to be
I heard about that.
Interesting come playoff time if they can get 100% in the Wells Fargo.
That would change the dynamic. I think they could go to the finals if they get crowds in there.
Yeah, because by June,
that's what I'm saying. If they get the number 1 seed, man, with 100% capacity, that's why I'm saying we're going to the finals.
Yeah, it's gonna exactly. But it's gonna be very
tough. Just cheering up the fans. Oh, by the way, guys, tickets are as low as $53 and as low as $38 right now for the next 2 games. I just checked that out on ESPN, so it's a good source. So, not bad tickets. 53 is not terrible. At 38 for a away game, or I think it's the home game. No, today's the home game. So
they're both home games.
Oh, they're both. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, if anybody wants to go out there and watch the Sixers live,
I would have definitely expected more.
Yeah.
$3. It's not. I mean, given we're so high in the season, we're doing well. It's not a bad price.
No,
I mean, it's not like paying like $9.99 like it was a couple of years ago. But still, you're seeing the playoffs. You're seeing the best team in the Eastern Conference right now.
For $20, you could get the meal plan too, where you get food, you get snacks, and you get like drinks like for like $20. I think
they got some good food at the Wells Fargo Center too.
See, bro, going 9-73 did have its benefits, man. You got cheap tickets, cheap food, and cheap beer.
Problem was it was all away games.
Yeah,
I went to see the Warriors in 2017. I was going to go with a friend, but he couldn't come, and it was all Warriors fans. But I got to see.
Oh yeah, we went through. We saw the Warriors, right? You guys took me there for my birthday.
2017 February.
No, I think this was like in November of 20. Was it November 2017, Steve? When the hell did we go? It was me, you, and Heath. Remember the Warriors came to Philly, and there was all these Warrior bandwagon fans throughout the whole arena. Like they were all quiet in the first half because we blew them out, and then like they started coming back in the second half.
They were quiet in the first half, and then you saw them. They're like,
bro, they started clapping out of nowhere. I'm like, where the fuck these bandwagoners come from, dude?
Yeah, they said trust the losers and stuff. I'm like, get out of here. Yo, Heath was about to fight the whole crowd.
Well, Heath would do some shit like that. He was crazy.
Well, you gotta remember, like the Warriors. When I saw it, it was all kids rooting, kids and like women rooting for the Warriors. Like they're like fair weather.
Nah, bro, these were adult men. With me, Steve, and Heath were all adult men, man, cheering this shit. I'm like, where the hell do these guys come from?
I will say there were a lot of women voting for them too. It was just so random, but yeah, whatever. I can just imagine if Brooklyn has to come here in the playoffs, they're going to be chanting "KD sucks" the entire time. KD.
The crowd went quiet. No, I do have a memory of that game. The crowd went really quiet when Rashawn Holmes dunked on Draymond Green. That is like he's forever in my heart, Rashawn Holmes. I miss that dude.
This is going to be interesting this year, man. But I think the Sixers lock it up tonight. It's going to be fun.
But yeah, they might.
I'm watching. So the Cavaliers.
I think they should. I wouldn't leave it for the last game because that's going to be too much pressure on the last game. I think just take care of business tonight. That way, the final game you can, you don't have to worry about it, and then you can just prepare for the playoffs. Because if you lose tonight, man, that's going to be a lot of pressure into the next game, dude.
That's what I'm saying, Marius. Why make your life harder if you can just win?
Yeah, man.
I'm not saying that Magic got no bum team because they're actually a decent team, but we should be able to technically be better than them today and in these next few days. And like you said, man,
you just never know, man. Upsets. You just never know. Upsets have happened before, bro. You just never know. You never want to leave it the chance. You have you see the window of opportunity, bro. You take the window of opportunity, man. You just go through it, bro. You never ever leave it up to chance, man.
Just like in soccer, you think it happened in basketball: sprained finger, sprained ankle, a bad fall, your knee. I mean, like you said, the guy fell wrong earlier and he hurt himself and he was injured. We all saw how Embiid got hurt. You know what I mean? So last March.
Yeah, shit happens. Nothing you can do.
Oh wow.
Randy wrote back a while ago. Yeah, remember Randy, Marius? Yo, what's up, Randy?
Oh my god. Yeah, hey Randy, how you been, bro?
Yeah, he's on a little while ago. He left a comment. Yo, my dude, what's up, brother? Yo, why don't we switch over now because we are running like 48 minutes in. Why don't we switch over to the Phillies and then we'll do some quick Eagles wrap up. So yeah, we talked about the Phillies. We talked about the Sixers. So with the Phillies, what are your guys' thoughts so far? 2021 season. They're 20-18, 2 games over 500. Right now, they're a game and a half back in the division. To be honest, I haven't watched a ton of Phillies games this year, but I've been kind of keeping up stat-wise and stuff. And to me, it just kind of appears that the bullpen is an issue once again. It is early in the season. We're only in second place, and we're about 3 games up on the Braves, I believe. But what are your guys' thoughts so far this point in the season? I don't know if you guys have any thoughts.
Well, I feel like we're a little inconsistent. And we haven't been making a lot of noise with it as far as, like what they're doing. But you can't necessarily, count them out. They're also another team where, they're trying to come back to some of their old glory. They do play, I believe they play the Braves tonight. I'm trying to see something online, but it says
they play the Blue Jays. They play Toronto.
Yeah, 7:37. They're on right now. 7:37 start.
They actually said, I think I just seen it. Just said like he wasn't live yet, but maybe the thing is slow. I'm actually watching Cleveland and let me see, who's this? Washington, the Wizards is 53-47 for Cleveland. Just little FYI, but I'm trying to catch this game. Yeah,
I was honestly kind of relying on Chris a little bit for this, but he's not here. So, but we don't have to talk. Since we did run a lot on the Sixers, we'll talk briefly on the Phillies, and then we can move to the Eagles. Honestly, my thoughts on the Phillies are, I don't know. Wheeler's having a good year. The bullpen is still an issue. I mean, obviously we're only 1/4 of the way through the season through 38 games. We're about 1/4 of the season way, so 25% through. But I don't know. The bullpen is still an issue to me. Girardi, a lot of people thought when he came here was going to be like a savior, especially when we had Kapler here. I don't know, but a lot of people are also saying the blame's not really on Girardi. I know Alec Bohm, I think, has had struggles a little bit as of late. It's going to be, I don't know. It's hard to really gauge so far. From my thoughts and honestly from a brief analysis, I just think the bullpen is an issue, but they are still in a division right now. I think they lost last series. No, who was their just most recent series, if you remember?
They just got done playing the Nationals in a 4-game
They won that series, right? They won. I think they won two.
They won 3 of the 4. They played well in that series. Some of the games were too close. I think, the bullpen's struggling a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as the disaster it was last year. There's room for improvement. They are getting saves, not from Neris, but they are getting saves. I have the stats up now. I mean, they're 9th worst in terms of ERA, but I mean, I don't think it's nearly as bad as people are making out to be, especially in comparison to last year. I think the fielding and the defense has been way more of an issue. You saw the other night, Bryce Harper ran into Odubel Herrera or the other way around, and it looked like it was a schoolboy error. I was just astonished, but it's some of the errors they've made this year, and it's such a surprise coming from a veteran team. So, I mean, call it what you will, but I think it's just too early to write them off. They're still second place, and that's only because the Mets have games in hand. I mean, the Phillies have more wins than the Mets, but the Mets haven't played as many games. So I think it's definitely, it's wide open, and I think the Phillies, if they the bullpen gets in a groove, which they can. They have good pitching there. Archie Bradley comes back. It's all different. So
we have Dominguez also.
If they improve the fielding a little bit, I think they win this division fairly easily. They just got to tighten up some things, win some games, and they're all set. I think that's a good team.
Build some momentum, and get some of those injured guys, like you said, bring them in. And apparently it seems like, let me see just a quick second. Sir Anthony Dominguez. Okay, he's on the 60-day injured list. But like I said, we have some players that we're definitely missing. But for honestly, 2018 is kind of like 20 and 18. That's like a mixed record. I haven't been following the Phillies too much, but I catch them here and there. That's the only team I really follow, and the Yankees a little as far as MLB. But it seems like we're a little better than this. And a couple games that we probably should have won were lost. And like Tom said, a couple tighten up, man. Just get get with the game plan a little there, and we should be able to progress more. And I'm not saying we're going to go to the World Series and like that, but like the Sixers, just got to trust the process a little. I think Philadelphia's in the midst of rebuilding other franchise teams, and we don't talk about this often, but even the Union did really well. The soccer team, they've been doing pretty exceptionally well, So I don't know if anybody.
They're probably doing the best out of all of them besides the Sixers.
Exactly, and we didn't get enough coverage. So we always want the Eagles and Sixers to do well, but we just got to wait a little bit and see how everything kind of unfolds a little.
With the Phillies, when they win the Champions League.
Well, the Champions League is different for the Union. They'll be like the North American Champions League, but yeah, it's in Europe. Imagine if Cristiano Ronaldo came to the Union.
I know it's the CONCACAF, but I just call it the Champions League for short.
Yeah, no, I understand.
We got an opportunity. We got an opportunity to win
Champions League. But it's something. It's a trophy.
Right.
I'll take it. To be honest with you.
Anything in Philly, bro. Anything comes here from the Lombardi Trophy to like the World Cup for clubs. That'd be cool. But real quick on the Phillies before we kind of move on, and because we got to keep on a time limit. So Steve, what about you? What do you think about just kind of like in brief description, and then I'll go to Tom and Mary's. What do you think is their season so far? Have you been watching it, or is it kind of like 50-50? Like you think they could do good, but they just kind of wasted some time? What do you feel about the Phillies? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I thought I agree with Tom. I think it's early. It's you can't write them off yet. Bullpen, while they had their struggles, have definitely been better than the dumpster fire from last year. I agree with you there, Tom. It's early, so it's hard to really gauge, but they are still in the division. They're like I said, a game and a half back. And if you actually look at their last 3 series, they won against the Nationals, lost to the Braves before that, but then they also swept the Brewers. So they had a 4 sweep against the Brewers. Where a lot of people were riding that Phillies high for a little bit right there. They were like, "Oh, Phillies are in the World Series," and like people were riding the high for a little while. But
momentum, yeah,
not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their they've won 7 of their last 10. So we'll see. They're only a game and a half back. Mets are in first. And like I said, I believe they are, if I look at the standings, take a look real quick at what I was looking at. Yeah, they're 2.5 games up on the Marlins and the Braves. They're 2.5 on both of them, and they're 3.5 up on the Nationals. And the Mets have a game and a half lead at hand. But it's like you said, Tom, the Mets haven't played as many games. So Phillies
they got to do something on the road. They're struggling on the road, but the Mets are too. I think every team in the NL East has a losing record on the road, which is a weird stat. They've been 7-3 in their last 10, and they've been missing Archie Bradley, who's been by far their best reliever. I mean, listen, it's going to take time for this team to truly gel. There's a lot of optimism. They swept the Brewers in a 4-game series in which the Brewers were supposedly the better team on paper coming into the season. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they were in the NLCS. I mean, that's a huge series win, a 4-game sweep. I mean,
oh yeah, it is. I will say
that should be going to the playoffs.
Yeah, I will say our division. The Mets are 18-13 and are leading our division. I actually just did the look. I think we have the winning wise and winning percentage wise. I think we have the worst division right now, currently in baseball. It kind of reminds you of the Eagles a little bit with the NFC East, but it is early. It's very early. But I agree with you, Tom. That was a big sweep on the Brewers. I just thought that a lot of people were they were jumping ahead as soon as they got that sweep. While definitely a good series win. Then they went on to lose to the Braves right after that. So,
the Braves are actually a pretty good team, though. I was looking at their schedule. I mean, they're not ashamed to lose, to like. I mean, we got Toronto, but I mean, the Braves, they've always been kind of like, a decent team. So, like I said, it's just about us, being good in our conference. And I still feel like the Phillies are always kind of viewed as a top team. Although our last win was many years ago, it's been over a decade. It just seems like after, like in the early 2010s, we still had what it took, and then of course with so many people leaving, and all that happened, and almost like the team's got change all the way around. But some news, so real quick. So this is what I seen real quick. So we did reinstate. This happened a day ago. So we reinstated JT Realmuto from the COVID related illness. He was some kind of, I guess he had COVID or something like that, but he's actually back. And Adam Hazley returns from personal leave. So we do. I mean, it seems like again, if everything kind of goes well, there's no reason we couldn't win some of our upcoming games. But what happens when we play teams that are up to par, or teams that maybe like have other players yet, because it seems like I said, we're still kind of like a little behind. And realistically, our record could have been like 20 to like 15, but like Tom said, a lot of teams have been not so well on the road, and Phillies are no exceptions. I mean, we always do great. I think all the Philadelphia teams do great in Philly. They also do good in other places, but it's always kind of harder because, I mean, our fan base is like second to none. We're known to have very brash fans too, I mean, we definitely, the demand is crazy in Philly. Let's not, get that.
The crowd advantage, the home field advantage.
Of course. Wrapping the Phillies right now. So.
But I'm looking at a lot of the other teams like that are the best in baseball. They don't have that many more wins than the Phillies actually. Like the best team in baseball is like a 5-way tie with the Red Sox, Athletics, Giants, and Cardinals. Maybe the Cardinals are the best team in baseball. They all have 23 wins, and the Phillies have 20. So it's very early. And the Giants, Gabe Kapler's their manager. They have 23 wins, but a lot of their losses they've lost games like in later innings.
Yeah.
Like they blown leads. Like I think all their losses were blown leads. I mean, isn't that funny? Like Gabe Kapler's their manager. Like
Blown leads. Nah, explains it all. Again, getting caught up and losing. You're by 2.
I mean, that was the recurring theme when Gabe Kapler was the manager, and that's why they missed the playoffs.
That's why they got rid of him, bro. That's why we had to get him out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see the Giants because they got the Padres in that division. The Padres were supposed to be the leading contender to win the World Series this year. I mean, they got the Dodgers, who are the defending champions. I mean, the Giants can't keep that up. They especially with Gabe Kapler as a manager. Come on.
Yeah, agreed. So, but I guess before we move on to the birds to wrap it up, Marius, do you have any thoughts like on the Phillies at all? Like I know you don't watch them like a ton, but any thoughts so far on the season before we go on to the birds?
I think they're doing fine. I would just give it some more time. I mean, I haven't watched too many games, but just to know that we're only a game and a half away from claiming the division, I think we'll get there. The bullpen seems to be a little bit better than last year. Obviously, there's still a lot of improvements that need to be made, but I think they'll get there, man. I would just give them some more time.
Good point. I guess we could wrap up with the Phillies there. So basically, the gist guys is it's early on. It looked decent right now. A game and a half out of first. Bullpen issues a little bit, but not as bad as last year. We'll see what happens. It's early. You can't write them off.
Exactly. That's the main thing. It's kind of early. It's only like middle of May, so they've been in season for like maybe a little over a month now. So April usually the opening day. But
who knows? They could just implode and just only have 70 wins this year. So who knows? That's what happened a couple of years ago. They started hot and then
right.
Yeah. Real quick, before we move on, I want to say something really small. So one of our favorite movies about baseball is called actually The Fan, and it's a funny movie. It's a good movie too. The Fan. It's about baseball. Man, that movie's hilarious, man. I mean, I hope we never see like that.
Dude, every time I see you, man, you always have to mention that movie, bro. Like, damn.
Yeah, man, it's the movie. But not every time now. Don't exaggerate. Now only 2 times we did it. Ain't no every time, but if you think it's every time. Only like twice.
All right, I may exaggerate, but it feels like it's every time, though, man. You love that one scene in the car, man, when De Niro's singing, dude.
No, that's like that. It's just a funny scene, man. You got to see it, bro. You got to catch the humor when you see it, But it's a good movie. It's an old movie, though. But they're set in the West Coast, though, so we're in the East Coast. We got to watch the Phillies and their progression.
Yeah, he was a Giants fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
I think Sandlot is probably the best baseball movie I've seen.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Sandlot. I watched that.
I love Sandlot.
The Sandlot, hands down, one of the best. Period.
That
our childhood.
Angels in the Outfield was another one I liked.
Yeah, that was a good
game.
So corny. But
the one with Jackie Robinson, number 42, that was a good movie as well. I like.
Oh yeah, with
Chadwick, rest in peace.
Yep, great movie.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Respect.
Classic movie. I remember me, Dylan, and Chris. Actually, Chris ain't here right now, but me, Dylan, and Chris had seen it. I think it was a Saturday morning. We got early tickets for like at 10 a.m., which tickets were like $5 or $6 at Franklin Mills. I remember that. We went to go see it on a Saturday morning. We used to get them $5-6 tickets. So it was me, Dylan. But it's a good movie, man. I love it. It's one of my favorites. But we'll move on. Yeah, we'll move on here for time constraints. Just get to the final portion of our show here, as we are a little over an hour right now. We won't make too much time on it, but we're gonna move on to the Eagles. I changed the background. We're gonna do some birds talk.
I seen it.
We're gonna do some Eagles post draft talk, and we're just gonna get into the schedule briefly. We're not gonna break down every game. We're not gonna do anything like that. We're just gonna gonna just quick analysis for the draft. You know what? We'll switch it up. Why don't we go to the schedule first, and then we'll go back to the draft.
Yeah. Good.
Afterwards. So I'm gonna pull up what their schedule's looking like for this year. We just released, I think, either yesterday or 2 days ago. Talking to some people about it, and we were kind of sharing our thoughts and our ideas. So let me see where we're at. Eagles schedule for 2021. I know that they kick off with the Falcons.
Who will do preseason game at MetLife against the Jets? I'm kind of interested in that for some reason.
Yeah, they'll have what's his name? Who's the quarterback they just took? Zach. I forget what his name is. The second round, the second pick in the draft. I forget what his name was, but they took
Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson.
There you go, Zach Wilson. So that'll be interesting. They kick off on the road, I believe, against Atlanta to start the season. Atlanta's going to be interesting. That's probably in hell. Realistically, it's a road game in Atlanta. I think they're going to lose that game. Atlanta's going to be interesting. They got the 49ers, who were not particularly healthy last year. They're coming into Philly. That's going to be a tough game too.
I think that's a definite loss.
Yeah, me too. They got Nick Bosa coming back. That's going to be.
Wait. Oh, yeah.
And then going back to the Falcons, they never do well in season openers at Atlanta. I don't know why the NFL keeps doing this to us. I'm writing that down as a loss too.
Who did they draft? The Falcons drafted some. Who did they draft again? They drafted someone big. Playing alongside Julio Jones. Falcons first.
I forgot. So too many drafts, bro. So we got two preseason games. Obviously, last year wasn't much of a preseason. We got the Falcons, and not the Falcons, the Steelers, and we got the Patriots. But the game that really counts. The Falcons.
Yeah,
the Falcons got Zach Pitts, and I don't get that pick because they already have two tight ends, and they traded for one last year.
That's who they took. They took Pitts. But that's going to be a crazy, though, man, with that tight end and then Julio Jones, and then they got Calvin Ridley. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I definitely think it's an L for the Sixers. Sixers definitely starting out 0-2 to start the year. And, guys, I just want to announce that, I'm not the most I'm a Birds fan, but honestly, it's with Howie Roseman there, I don't know. Just kind of expressing my thoughts and my concerns for the team.
That's their guy they got.
I'm not the most optimistic Eagles fan, so, you can take it with a grain of salt. You get, not for this year at least. I don't think a lot of people are anyway, because this is just – I think this is going to be a dumpster fire. We'll see, though. We'll see. Well, let's see Sirianni.
You never know. Yeah, right. It's only because because Wentz left. So, things are a little different now. It's a new team, or a newer team.
Mario, you're muted, bro.
Go ahead, bro. It's on you, Mario. All eyes on you.
You're muted.
I saw you were trying to talk. Let me see if I can unmute you. You're all unmuted.
Muted.
There you go.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, good.
I don't know what happened. I think I was trying to be optimistic, and Howie Roseman muted me. So, go figure.
What were you saying, though? I saw you were trying to talk. That's why I was like,
Yeah. I know what everyone's saying, man, and they probably think it's going to be a tough year, but I'm trying to be optimistic. I think they're probably going to do a little bit better than expected. You know how it is with Philly teams, man. When we expect them to do good, they don't do good, and then when we expect them to be trash, they all of a sudden surprise us and they do good. So I'm hoping this is one of those years where they kind of surprise us out of nowhere. We got some good young talent to work with. We ended up drafting that great wide receiver in the first round, man, and we got a new quarterback and stuff. So we'll see what happens, but man, to get rid of Carson Wentz, to get rid of Doug Peterson, that's quite a change, and to keep Howie Roseman.
Defense is a concern for me this year because there is no Jim Schwartz either, and I don't think we really got that much better. We did draft a couple defensive players. We drafted a defensive tackle and Milton Williams, and we did draft a cornerback in the fourth or fifth round, but I don't think we got that much better, man, on the defensive side realistically. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what my record prediction is going to be yet, because I'm going to walk through the schedule real quick and then
if they're real trash this year, do you think Jeffrey Lurie is going to fire Howie Roseman if they are absolute trash?
I don't, and I'm telling you why. It's because I think that Howie will get a pass because this team was not expected to have a big year, because they technically are in rebuilding mode, I believe. I don't know, but I definitely think Jeffrey Lurie did. Apparently, there weren't rumors inside the organization that he will be held accountable. I don't know. We'll see. I will give Howie Roseman this, and I don't like Howie Roseman at all, but I will give him a fair share on this. I definitely think Jeffrey Lurie is part of the problem. I think it's a lot Howie Roseman, believe me, but I definitely think Jeffrey Lurie has some to blame. I think he meddles. I think it's okay for an owner to meddle, but I think at the end of the day, you also still need to let an offensive coordinator do his job. But you got to listen to your scouts too. And I think Jeffrey Lurie meddles a lot. I definitely think he's a little bit of an enabler, and I think that he is partial to blame. So while I don't like Howie, I'm not going to say it's 100% on him. But we'll see. I'm going to walk through a couple of these games after this. So after the first two, I have them as 0-2 against the Niners and the Falcons. We got the Cowboys on the road, and then we got the Chiefs. And that's in Philly, but the Chiefs game's an L. I don't see any way in hell we win that game. That's an L. I don't care that it's in Philly.
He said that's an L, right? They're just good right now, bro. Right now, we need to build back up to that level.
We're not beating
2 years
the
ago,
Chiefs.
it's been a different story. But right now, okay, I understand what you're saying, Steve. Even though it's in Philly, it might be a little rough for us. Honestly, bro, I hate to sound like the bearer of bad news. I just don't even see us beating after Falcons games in Atlanta. We lost the last game in Atlanta when the dude was it Al Gore. He missed that one pass. I mean, literally went right between his fingers. But Atlanta's one of those teams. They do good at home, but they also sometimes they choke too. Though they've choked in the past. So I don't know. It's
So I'm going to go for that game. So I have them. They play the Cowboys in Dallas. Do you think we win that game?
Oh God, the most fucking rival game there is.
If Dak does not play, I think the Eagles win that.
Okay,
I think we will win that, honestly.
Okay. I'll give you it. Dallas, for some reason, doesn't always play well at home against us either. In their own building, I don't know why. I'll give you it. Do we all agree that they're going to lose to the Chiefs, though?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think they lose to the Chiefs.
I think they lose to the Chiefs, bro. So, guys, real quick, what if we beat the Chiefs, though? What do you think? I mean, do you think it'll be by luck or just maybe the Chiefs have a big game and we just kind of steal that point? We just win. What do you guys think about that if we beat the Chiefs?
Unless if we're in a shootout, we have to be in a shootout.
I think we'll have to see, right now, I don't think they're beating the Chiefs, but things could happen, players could get injured or something happens. Maybe the Burt Reed thing still lingers on, and that they struggle this year. I mean, a lot of teams.
Because realistically speaking, the Chiefs' defense ain't all that good. So, if you can exploit some holes, man, and you take Mahomes in a shootout, you never know. You could surprise them.
And
I just don't see it happening.
Teams that lose in the Super Bowl tend to struggle early next year. It doesn't happen every year, but they tend to struggle the year after they lose the Super Bowl.
Who's that? The Chiefs?
Yeah, they lost in the Super Bowl to the Buccaneers.
Right.
Yeah, they did. So we'll see. We'll see. Some news though. I don't know if you guys know this. Eric Fisher, that offensive lineman that was missing in the Super Bowl, he went to the Colts.
Oh.
He went to the Colts.
Indianapolis, bro.
That Pro Bowl O-line guy, man. He went to the freaking Colts to protect Carson. So.
They're a good team together. We just fucking lost.
They look like a team this year. The Colts do. Hopefully, Carson stays healthy.
I do agree. It's not just because I'm a Wentz fan. I do agree. I honestly, dude, if they go get Zach Ertz,
all the Colts needed was a quarterback because they had a good team around Phillip Rivers, but he's done.
The tight end position's a little flaky too. Do you think when the Eagles release Ertz that Wentz will go say something to them and they'll go get Zach Ertz?
Yes, I agree 100%. I think they will. I think they should be on the phone the next day and get him.
We see.
Yeah. I think he will go there.
Biden saying?
Oh, he's on the Steelers.
Who do you think will take Ertz though? I didn't hear what you said. He said something about
Indianapolis.
Oh, Indianapolis. Yeah. We need to keep him tight, bro. I just don't see, our new draft. I mean, I'm curious to see what the new coach, because this is different, guys. This is like last year. We had a Doug, Penders for a while. Now we have a new coach, so I'm curious to see what he's gonna look like. But I do agree with Steven and Tom, not to kind of play devil's advocate, but I just feel like we're not gonna really have maybe the best team. But I feel like we've learned a lot about ourselves, and maybe next year in 2022, or 2022, 2023, that might be more of our aim year. We're gonna aim for that year, maybe our bullseye year. Because even in 2018, there was how many years was Doug Peters in when we won the Super Bowl? Was it his second year? Was it third year, right? Or
second year?
Second year. Right, exactly. So again, guys, don't quote me, but I just think realistically, it's too soon to, and we're not going to get into the Super Bowl picks because it's way far fetched. Yeah. But just the beginning of the season.
And not to cut you off, but we can't compare Doug Peterson to Nick Sirianni because Nick Sirianni has no he doesn't have the coaching experience that Doug Peterson had. Doug Peterson had already been a quarterback's coach here. Like, he already knew what Philly was like. Like, Nick Sirianni, this is his first experience ever. This is going to be
real quick, bro. On Nick Sirianni, I want to ask because I don't know much about him. Now, he's kind of one of a younger guy, but he's not as experienced, right? Because I mean, Doug Peterson definitely had a lot of experience.
Yeah, this is his first head coaching job in the NFL. Like, he has no experience.
Well, that was the knock on Peterson too. Was he was never a head coach outside of the high school team, but he was in the NFL for like a decade.
No, he was around,
and he came from the Andy Reid tree, the Andy Reid coaching tree.
You're completely right there. So he learned a lot from Andy Reid, man, and I mean,
he definitely learned. The years on Andy Reid helped him.
We had a good squad too, like Frank Reich. We had John DeFilippo, like as a quarterbacks coach.
Yeah,
everything just went our way that year. That was like catching lightning in a bottle. Like, honestly, that's just, I'm being realistic.
Bro, remember that year very well. So I was working at the bank back then in 2017, 2018. So the season, I remember like us losing a few games, and I remember like coming up so strong. So I was like, yo, it's gonna be the year. And then come January, remember the playoffs and everything lined up, dude. I mean, even with the Wentz kind of being hurt, let's not, like I said, I don't go back into the quarterback thing, but Wentz did a lot of job, got us there, and Foles kind of like helped us get the prize and win, basically, So it's a shame that everything kind of changed after. We lost three key players to Super Bowl night. We're sold right after the following season in summer. So I mean, that's not to make excuses, but I'm just saying that's how things go in his game. So, but anyway, all right. So real quick though, and I'll let Steve take the lead after this because we only got about 10 minutes. What do you guys think about the first game? We lose to the Chiefs. Atlanta could be 50-50. We beat the Cowboys. What's the next game on the road before we kind of move to the draft a little bit?
Let's break them all down real quick. All right, next game.
In
Carolina, because we got to run through it. In Carolina, what do you guys think? Win or loss?
I think that's a win.
I think it's a win. Tight game, but win. I don't know why. I just think we can beat them.
All right, 2-3 at that point. So we go to the Buccaneers. That's in Philly. Al?
I think that's a loss.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a loss, and then we get too cocky from winning, and then they just somehow Brady screws up a little, which we still.
I haven't beat. I do have them losing to the Bucs, but I haven't beaten Carolina. I think we can win.
Yeah, Carolina. So
2-4. So 2-4. The next game is against the Las Vegas Raiders.
Chucky.
In Las Vegas.
Chucky.
We're a 5-game. The Eagles don't tend to play well at 4:00.
I mean, I just envision it like the Raiders drop 52 on the Eagles, and they show John Gruden and his face. And I'm watching. I just envision like watching it at your house, Steven, and you're just getting pissed off. I just imagine you get so pissed off at John Gruden.
I think you beat them.
To be honest, I'm not even going to have that type of reaction next year, just because I don't really have much expectation for this team. But yeah, usually in a real season, I would.
Don't get your hopes up.
But
I would be annoyed seeing John Gruden's face like after they just dropped 52 on us. I just see it. So that's a loss.
Yeah, I think we lose that game too. I do believe we're going to lose it. It could be a game that we could win, but I think we're going to lose it.
Blown out of the building. That's going to be the one that's going to be the wake up call.
Yeah, then we got in Detroit.
The Lions in Detroit.
Another team that we don't ever play particularly well. I don't know what it is.
I actually think they win.
I
don't think the Lions are going to be that good this year.
They don't. They have Jared Goff, no Matthew Stafford, but
I think we can win that. I have that away.
I really don't think that's a good fit. So I think they're going to be pretty bad this year.
Okay, 3-4. Then we got the Chargers in Philly, but remember Justin Herbert.
I think they pull that one out. They surprise that one. I think they will, because I think they're a pretty decent team. But I mean, I like some games like the West Coast teams come on the East Coast and they just don't show up.
Okay,
that happened a lot in 2017. I noticed. Like the Chargers were supposed to be a good team that year, and they just got blown out of the building. Same with the Broncos.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely. So all right, so that point's 4-4. Then we got
Denver.
Yeah, Denver on the road.
Tough.
I don't know what you guys' thoughts are there.
Team here, because I really don't know.
I think that's a loss. I think that's a loss.
I think that's a loss. Denver.
play with the altitude on the road.
Yo,
I
Steve,
think
real quick, right? You know what you should do, bro?
Yeah.
I'm about to say fuck. I'm about to write this stuff and just see our predictions, and then look back like a few months, be like, okay, let's see if we're right. Aziz about to write this down, bro.
Yeah.
I personally think we'll beat the Chargers, and like Mary said, we lose to Denver for some reason. I don't know. It just seems like Denver always, they always surprise us. Not always, but I'm just saying, like a lot of times we lose to them, and they're a decent team.
Yeah.
But it
I
depends
think
how we start
Jerry
the season.
Judy will have a big day, even though
Who knows?
this is direct.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right. So,
Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater are their quarterbacks, so either one of them could have a big day against us.
yeah, agree.
I think that'll be a close loss because they never play well in Denver, like no matter when. They just never did.
So 4-5 so far. Then we got the Saints and Philly. Remember, Drew Brees retired.
They still
I
got a
think they
good team,
win
though,
this
so I think we'll lose, though, man. The core nucleus is still there, even without Breeze.
Agreed. Michael Thomas will have himself a day as always, and I think we'll be healthy, a lot healthier.
I don't know. I think the Saints will lose that one. I think that's a win for the Eagles, in my opinion.
I think it's a fluke.
Really
it's a fluke win for them, honestly. Unless we can beat them, because it is in Philly. But if they beat us, I think we're gonna play our heart out against the Saints because it's a team we're always gonna do well against. But I feel like they might get lucky and beat us in a fluke. And I don't want to just use the word lucky, but kind of a fluke. Although maybe they're slightly better team. I don't know. You guys tell me, but I don't know. It's just. I think
I do think they're going to lose that game. So I'll be 4-6.
Eagles, right?
Yeah. So Tom would be like 5-5. I'll be 4-6. I think they're going to lose that game. So then down the stretch here, 5 of our last 6 are division opponents. So the next game is in. So I'll skip the Giants game. Go to the Jets, and then we'll just do the division games down the line. So in New York against the Jets, win or a loss?
Wow.
Win.
I think that's a win.
I think it's a win too.
I think they're still
rebuilding.
Okay, so 5-6, and then Tom's got 6-5 right now. So now we're gonna go down to the division games. All right, 2 games against the Giants, 1 in Philly, 1 in New York.
I think we split.
Okay, so 6-7. Tom, you agree with that, or do you think?
What team? The Giants?
Yeah, in Philly and
I think they'll lose at New York, or actually, no, I think they'll lose both.
Okay.
I think the Giants are going to be good this year.
Okay, so then we're agreeable, and so both you guys are at 6-7 then at this point, because then Tom, you made up for the 1 win that you had against the Saints. So 6-7 this far. All right, 2 games. All right, before we get to the final Dallas game, 2 games against Washington, 1 in Washington, 1 in Philly.
I'll go with the split again. I think we'll win here, but we'll lose at Washington.
7-8. How about you, Tom?
I think they'll lose both because I think they're also a good team.
That defense is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
man.
that defense.
I think we lose both too. I think
that defense is going to have
easy
a big day against Jalen Hurts.
The game is going to be tough. The one in Washington, I feel like they're going to sweep us, but they'll definitely beat us like convincingly. I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like we'll lose both of them too. But we do beat the Giants. I can say that.
Marius is 7-8. Thomas is 6-8 right now, or now
6-9.
6-9.
Or wait, 6. I think I'm 6 and we still got the Cowboys left. The last one.
Yeah.
So I have 6 because I lost both Giants, lost both Washington, so 6-10.
Okay, how about you, Marius? You think we win that game against the Cowboys in the at home? Remember, we won the away game already.
Fantasy predictions.
Yeah, I do. I think we're going to close out the season strong. And in Philly, especially if Dallas has something to play for, fuck them. We're going to screw up their playoff hopes. I think we win.
Okay, you're optimistic then, Marius, because Thomas has 6-10, and you have 8-8. I think that's very optimistic.
I have them losing to the Cowboys.
Man, fuck the Cowboys, man.
I mean, I have them beating the Cowboys in the last game, so they're going to be 7-10 because they're 17 games now.
For some reason, they only have 16 games here. Let me see: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh no, yeah. I guess you're right. I guess you are 7-10, Tom. And then what's Marius then? What are you, 9-8?
I think I'm 8-9.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I think
I'm
like, maybe I might be 8-9 too, but I'm optimistic though. And again, I feel like But you know what it is, guys? And correct me if I'm wrong, but I just feel like always we lose some games to Atlanta, but for some reason we beat the Cowboys when it matters. Like we'll lose a game to them, and it's the Turner rivalry. But look at like what was it last year? 2 years? It was last year. We beat them last year, I believe. Yeah, I think it was last year. Like 2 years ago, was it? It might have been like 2 years ago maybe. But we always
2 years ago, Boston Scott game.
Yeah, right. I remember we beat my other team, Green Bay, and it was the first time playing them in 4 years. So it's like some games would come up and we just show up, and then some games it just seems like something happens. I mean, last year Wentz didn't have a lot of his defense and people weren't blocking or whatever. Passes were really complete. Shit was going on. I mean, obviously injuries. This year it's a whole new change. So it depends. Show what Hart is really made of. I mean, I think Steve would agree with this. It just shows where we're going to be at. I mean, in the future, because it's going to be a big camp. It's going to be we got the draft and all that. It's going to be a big change for us with the new coach and all that. So I'm optimistic, but I need to be realistic. So we got to be optimistic, realistic, like you were mentioning earlier, Steve and Tom. So I don't know. I just feel like some teams could be like the Chargers. You know what I mean? I don't think we're playing San Fran, but I mean, like teams like that could be the Lions. I feel like we could beat them. But then, teams like the Saints, still a very top team. You know what I mean? Like some teams will definitely, get us out of the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't think it's realistically we're not going to beat them. So I think now, do you guys think we'll struggle to make the playoffs, or are we going to make them? What do you think about that? And without going too far away from the season.
Nah, I don't think we'll make the playoffs. I think if they even end up being 500, I'll take that. I'm trying to get them near that 500 mark, which will be very hard. A lot of people say this is going to be a crappy year, but hopefully speaking, they get near that 500 mark just to build some momentum heading into next year. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. I just don't see it.
You don't think so? Oh, okay.
I don't think
no.
so either. Because
I love my Birds, bro, but I just don't see it.
Washington's a strong team, and they also have Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I think it's either them.
27-24. All right. Good news. Good.
Watch another
Go
game.
Philly. Go Sixers.
Good update. Thank you for the update, Steve. But go ahead, Tom. What were you saying, Tom? Let's finish your thought.
Washington has Ryan Fitzpatrick, and the Eagles never do well against them. So
another motherfucker.
I think it's going to be Washington and the Giants duking it out for the division. I think the Cowboys are just going to be trash this year. I don't, especially if Dak Prescott's out for the year again. I just don't think they're going to do anything this year.
Yeah,
we'll see, man. So you guys are pretty optimistic about how they're going to do this year. I think they're going to lose some games, or they look like they're going to win. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
It could be a split thing, 50-50.
I mean, my optimism says 7 wins. My pessimism says 2.
Okay. All right, so let's hop in with 3 to 5 minutes left. Let's hop into just a quick draft analysis, I guess, of what some of the moves they made. I didn't really watch a lot of the later rounds. But I do have who they took and kind of who their draft grades were. Obviously, the first round pick with Devontae Smith trading up, I think we all agreed that was a good pick.
Yeah, that was a good pick. I like
that. That was probably Howie's best pick in years. That was Howie's best pick in years.
Yeah.
You think so, right? Yeah, definitely good pick. I mean, I would say so too.
Yeah.
He brings
that will help out Jalen Hurts a lot.
He brings to that receiving core what's been missing since about 2017, and that was a guy that could get separation off the line, and he has some crazy ankle breaking moves. He was making defenders look stupid, I'd never seen before. And a lot of his highlights were wide open catches. I'm sitting there oh, what's the big deal? And then I'm looking at him at the line. He's making defensive backs look silly, all-American defensive backs that were drafted very highly too. So that's a really good pick for them, and something they've been missing for years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no,
I mean,
even
good picks, it was some good picks. I feel like
it was his best pick. I'd give it an A.
And,
I mean, he made the right
he
move.
doesn't drop the ball. He only has 3 drops, I think, in his entire collegiate career.
That's
Dickerson.
Big. That's big. That's definitely big. Now here's the controversial one. We go to the second round with Landon Dickerson.
Yeah, Landon Dickerson. What do you think about him?
Well,
he's from Alabama too. I mean, decent player. I don't know much about him, but I mean, like I said, I like the fact we're getting some young players, and it seems for some reason players from down south play so hard, bro. I'm telling you, Southern players are really good. I mean, maybe it's just part of their work ethic, but
does anything worry you about him though, George? Landon Dickerson?
Based on what I did the research on him, I mean, again, a little younger guy, bro. I just want to see how he fits in with their team, to be honest. It's the only thing that kind of worries me a little, to see if the chemistry is going to work. If he works, like I think he should go, I feel like he'll be okay too. Like I just want to give him a little confidence. I don't want to be like, well, who the fuck is he? You know, what has he done? That's not the point. A lot of guys are young from college and all that. By the way, guys, this is some notes I took for information. So it seems like 6 players were taken from I believe Alabama. Alabama had a lot of players, just to kind of underline that a little bit, including him as well, including Dickerson. So I don't know. I think Landon Dickerson. I mean, he, like I said, he could do well with us. It all depends. Like adjust to the team a little bit, and it depends on whether how the coach is kind of like evaluate him a little bit. But with Devontae, like I said, that's one of the best picks we had in a long time. And I remember people complaining about us, even on Facebook, like last year, 3 years ago. Oh, we got bad picks, blah blah blah. But I'm like, we're trying to really get this team where it should be. The problem is, like I said earlier, we lost a lot of players for the Super Bowl, and if we could connect some of those players with some of the new ones, but we just lost wins. So it's like where are we right now? So I'm optimistic, but I want to just kind of like watch some of the preseason games to see how they fit in a little. That's what I think.
Well, the concern with Dickerson is he's had 4 season-ending injuries in the last 4 years, which is significant. While the best player on the board, he has had 2 ankle surgeries and 2 ACL surgeries.
Very young.
All four of them in the last 4 years ended his season. He's had 4 back-to-back season-ending injuries. While the best player on the board, I do think that they could have took somebody else as a center. But when healthy, he was the best pick available if healthy. That's the key, though.
That's the key.
Another thing about him was when he was healthy, he was like a high first-round talent. And why I like the pick is because his primary position was center, and that's a position we need because Jason Kelce is aging, and I think he's going to retire after this year, especially if Landon Dickerson's really good. So I think that was not only a position of need. He wasn't only the best player available, but it was a position they desperately needed.
We need to cover the position. Like Steve said, I like the point. See, I didn't know about some career-ending injuries with Dickerson, but I mean, here's the thing: he's young and he's a really good talent. But the question really is this, Steve. Now, if he will get injured, because I mean, I hate to say it like this, but everybody gets injured in Philly at some point. It's a rough game out here. But it's how much of a toll have his injuries taken from him. I mean, if like you're saying, there's 4 injuries that cut his season short. I mean, that's a lot of injuries, even for a young guy. His knees are still good. He's a big kid and all that. But we'll just kind of see how he adapts and if he can stay healthy, which is again key. I think he can kind of do well and play at a good level. He's in the center. We got to tighten up a little. I mean, the Eagles got to tighten up the defense, like we said about the Phillies. We got to just tighten up a few things. And honestly, bro, I think our picks are kind of not spot on, but they're totally decent picks. I feel like we can do okay, though. You know what I mean? But a lot of new players in Philly. I mean, oftentimes it just seems like a curse. They get injured, shit happens. They don't perform where they should perform. It's a lot of things. But here's the thing: we're a hot market. Don't forget, we're a big city too, bro. We're up there with New York, Chicago, LA. I mean, we are a big city, so here you got to perform well. There's a lot of pressure, and again, stuff happens. We have tough games. How do we know that somebody could get hurt in the second game? Knock on wood. I don't want it to happen, but I'm just saying. Stuff happens. Maris knows. He'll tell you. It's like a jinx against us, brother. The Eagles lose a lot of players. But, again, I'm optimistic. And, like you said, it could have been a different pick. I'm glad
they took a lot of
Huh?
What? What's that? I was just saying we took a lot of defensive talent in the in the draft this year.
Which was kind of what we needed. We didn't even spoke about this. So
we took a cornerback, 2 edge rushers. We took
Alabama.
Yeah, it was a lot. 2 defensive tackles, 1 cornerback. So we took McPherson as the cornerback. We mainly went defense. We took running back too. We mainly went defense, so we only had 3 offensive positions, and we took 5 defensive positions. We took a running back. Not sure. But then we took a running back from the Lions, who they released too, right?
Yeah, Kerryon Johnson.
Yeah, so I'm like,
we were good at running back, man. I don't know why.
I mean,
we got
there. I mean, it's a logical reason to stockpile running backs. I mean, there's no guarantee he makes it out preseason, but it's a good idea to.
short shelf life. Only 4 years is usual length of time. 4 to 5 years is the usual length of time for a running back. So,
And there's also no
Miles Sanders.
guarantee that Jordan Howard makes it out of preseason.
True.
Jordan Howard is good.
Overall, this is going to be interesting to see what they do next year.
Fletcher Cox is still there. Jenner Avery, Derek Barnett. Okay. I've been looking at the team a little bit. I mean, like I said, bro, we still need a little, to kind of play. Some guys did play with each other for a while. Some are healthier than others. But, I mean, we shall see. Real quick, though, not to trip from the Eagles, but with the Aaron Rodgers thing, he's still about leaving, but he's still, as of right now, I just looked, he's still with Green Bay on the contract with them.
I think he is going to leave,
no,
man.
He's still with Green Bay, but he does want to leave, though. I don't know where he's going to go.
What about guys? Just somebody keep me up to speed. What about the Deshaun Jackson? What's up? What's going on with him? Is he better or?
I think no, he's off the team now, right?
Yeah, he's gone. They released him.
They released him. Wow. Say it again.
And Alshon Jeffrey. They're both gone. Him and Alshon Jeffrey are gone.
Oh yeah, Alshon Jeffrey. I heard about the Alshon. I don't know why. What do you think about Alshon Jeffrey being released? Do you think that was a good move, wise move, or?
Yeah, both of them needed to be removed, man.
Freeze up cap room, and Jeffrey's been up in years, so
yeah, he's a locker room problem too. No, Alshon Jeffrey had to go, and Deshaun Jackson absolutely had to go. The guy plays one game a year. He can't stay healthy.
Rock with Travis.
What a terrible comeback, bro! Right?
Smith,
The second stint he had, just terrible, man. It's a shame, but go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, rock with Travis Fulgham and Devontae Smith and the other guys on that team. They still have Marquise Goodwin, who was out last year because of he didn't want to lose his daughter to the virus.
Tyree Jackson.
His daughter was immunocompromised or something like that. He didn't want her, so he didn't play. But he's going to play this year, I would believe. If
he'll play.
Okay, so
that was a good addition last year. He's a very good player, but let's see if he plays.
Quick question, guys. Where do you feel like we could definitely improve a little more? This defensive linemen, defensive backs, offensive linemen, running backs, or wide receivers, or tight ends? I mean, what do you guys feel like we're? I mean, me and you spoke about this, Steve, off camera one time. You said like you feel like the defense has to be a little better because of any injuries. Do you feel like we got to tighten up in some of those departments? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the defense is still suspect in my opinion. There's a lot of young talent coming in. Darius Slay didn't really reach the expectation level last year. Defense it's a question. It's a question. I just think the whole team realistically, we'll see. Jalen Hurts, this is going to be his year to lead the team fully, not just playing 4 games. We'll see. It's up in the air. It's like the Phillies. You just don't know where we're gonna be.
I think the defense is suspect, especially defensive back. I mean, they added Zach McPherson, who was a great pick in the later rounds. What I was seeing certain articles, but they did add Eric Wilson, who is a really good linebacker. Alex Singleton proved himself last year. He was a really tough player. He wasn't great, but he had a lot of heart, and we'll see what we get out of Sean Bradley, the Temple grad.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I think their linebacking core is better this year. I think that
Temple. You said Temple grad. I'm like,
Temple grad, yeah.
TU squad over here.
Third, real quick, guys, just to stay on the thing as far as the draft. I'm looking at the third round. Let me see. Oh yeah, what about Milton Williams?
Oh, that was the one that Howie Roseman refused to high five. The scout refused to high five Howie Roseman. He's like, "Yeah, good pick," and Howie went, "Good pick, right?" And the scout just went, "Get out of here with that." Like, wouldn't high five, and he's like, "What?" No,
damn.
Wow. He's sorry. He left him. That's some dick-eating shit, but it happens, you know.
No, it's not really. I mean, he probably didn't listen to the scouts as usual. I mean, I don't really know that much about.
We don't know the whole story, so I mean.
Yeah, the scouts are probably just sick and tired of listening to Howie.
Get out of here.
There's some anti-Semitic stuff I could probably say out here, man, about Howie Roseman. I'm not going to say anything and stuff, but that doesn't.
Careful, man. They're going to blacklist you from the link, Steve. Careful.
There's some harsh things,
bro. Right. We don't know what could get censored. We can get censored for anything these days.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, you can just set up your boy Kevin Durant and create a burner account, and you can just tweet about how he that way.
Steven,
Well, Kevin Durant got bigger fish to fry than Steve and me. He's going up to
Steven,
bro.
Steven,
What's that?
just put it on your Parlor account.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even that. Like, whatever you're thinking is probably not as bad as half the stuff that's actually on there. So.
Oh my god.
That was just a clown.
But no, I was trying to say they also signed Anthony Harris, who's a safety. That was a pretty. I mean, he's no Malcolm Jenkins, but he's. I mean, it's a pretty decent addition. Hopefully, we're not seeing him a lot on TV because he's getting burned.
You're right about that. I actually, I totally forgot about the safety position. I don't know much about. I mean, I do agree with you. I do like.
He was a starter on the Vikings.
Oh, okay.
They also have Andrew Adams.
I do like the McPherson pickup though, the cornerback role. I agree with you there. Well, we needed the cornerback role to be filled. So I mean, you needed help.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've been hearing good things about him. I don't know any specifics about him. Like, I don't watch Texas Tech, but I mean, there's a lot of articles praising the pick, you know. So, I mean, and that's pretty big for like a late round pick.
Right.
Opinion.
Just a heads up. Sixers are up 13 right now. They're up 45-32.
Yeah,
alrighty.
It's 24. Now it's 22. Okay, 32. Wait, what is the score? 35-32?
45-32.
Yeah, I posted that a little bit ago. I posted that like 10 minutes ago. That score down there.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's 47-32. Okay, they hit 2 free throws, it looks like. So now they're up 15.
Yeah, so far so good, man. Let's keep it up.
Just pull away. Just blow them out. They shouldn't even be close.
Yeah, don't even give him don't even let him think about coming back, man. Just shut the door right now and sayonara.
Exactly. Embiid has 8 points. Korkmaz has 8.
Korkmaz is doing his thing.
Simmons has 4. Tobias has 3. Curry 3. Shake Milton's got 6. Okay, yeah, now they're up 48-30. Yeah, now they're up 16. So they just need to blow them out, man. Win by 30. Lock up that number 1.
Although, yeah, block in that home court.
Yeah, we get home court throughout with 100% capacity. It's going to be tough for anybody to come here. But
so many particles.
That's kind of my thoughts on the Eagles, Phillies, Sixers. Phillies and the Eagles. It's just kind of hard to. Phillies, it's early in the season. Sixers, it's a complete unknown. We don't know. New coach, Jalen Hurts' his first year. A lot of new talent. And you still got that really, really crappy GM at the top. I don't know. It's early. Phillies early. Can't count them out. They're playing decent right now. So, like I said, second division. Sixers, yeah, lock it up tonight, and we'll see what happens in the playoffs. So the key in the playoffs is there's no reason you lose in the second round. I think in the second round they're going to be either playing Miami or New York. It's either going to be the Knicks or the Heat. I don't know if you'd agree with me there.
Yeah, you're right. Because we spoke about this earlier. I mean, but you know what? We probably have a better chance against Miami. But Miami's, like you said, a young kid.
I think we have a better chance against New York because Miami's experienced in the playoffs. New York is not. So
yeah,
I prefer to play the Knicks over the Heat.
He's cold-blooded, dude. I don't want to go against him again.
Or he beat Brooklyn, but
while I think we beat the Heat, I think it will be a tough series. It's not going to be an easy out.
I don't think they beat the Heat. I really don't. Jimmy Butler's too cold-blooded, even against our defense.
I think we will. I think that the Heat gave us everything they had last night, whereas the Sixers really didn't. And plus, they play well in Miami. They're going to have to come here in that crowd. That's going to be tough. I don't care if Jimmy Butler's playing or whoever.
The next player, I forgot all about him.
Remember, they went to the finals last year, but there were no crowds. There were no crowds at all. They didn't have to deal with all that noise. They're going to have to come in here at 100% capacity. Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Now, I think Jimmy Butler can still put up numbers, but can Bam Adebayo put up numbers in a difficult environment? Can Tyler Hero put up numbers? Can Duncan Robinson put up numbers? I think they'll struggle in here. And let's be honest. Miami last year, there was a reason why they were a 5th seed. Yeah, they got to the finals, but it was also during quiet arenas. And then this year, if they're like they were saying this on the radio, if they're so great, why are they not the 1 seed this year? Like after last year, it's like, yeah, there's reasons, because I hear a lot of rumors that there's a lot of turmoil inside that locker room. There's a lot of I feel like
I seem to think that it's because their only star on that team's Jimmy Butler, and like when you have stars on the team, like 2 or 3 stars on the team, you're going to win like 50, 60 games. It's the struggle over 66, 82 games season for a team where Jimmy Butler is your go-to guy. I mean, that's not sustainable to win 50 games in the season. So you're going to win like 45 games maybe.
Yeah, that's Jimmy Butler's fault because he chose to go there. That's
right. Well, we know what happened with that story. We broke it down before, but
when he was in Chicago, it was like that because when he was the guy, they were like a 5-6 seed too.
Yeah, then he went to the Timberwolves, and then he went here, and it's like
Timberwolves we're not going to discuss the Timberwolves. They're a mess in general. So
to save it for next episode.
When they came to Philadelphia, that was their best opportunity. They had a great team that year.
Here's the thing here's the one
Jimmy Butler fan, so
here's the one key factor. Oladipo's done for the year.
That's true too.
Victor Oladipo will not be playing the rest of the year. He's having season-ending surgery.
Oh God,
that's big. Yeah,
another one. Huh?
It is big.
It's critical.
But if they had both, I think they could be one of the better teams in the East.
They'd be tough. Yeah, if Oladipo was 100%. Yeah,
they don't have Oladipo, and they're still like a 5 seed.
Well, yeah, they didn't get it, but remember, they didn't even have Oladipo until like after the trade deadline, so they got him.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oladipo, there was a reason the Sixers didn't take him. It was because of the injuries. I mean, that's their own fault. Oladipo was already at risk of injuries, and that's the thing. I actually, at one point, had wanted to get him, but then when you look into his injury history, he hasn't been healthy in like 2-3 years. So it's like there's a reason why they didn't take him. And you know what? It actually turned out to be smart because they didn't have to give up anything to go get him. They gave up Kelly Olynyk. Just think about this. They gave up some pieces. They gave up Kelly Olynyk, who definitely could have been – I actually kind of wanted the Sixers to go get him from the Rockets once they gave him to the Rockets. But the Rockets had no interest in moving him. So I think Kelly Olynyk I would have liked here in Philly. I think he would have been a nice addition.
Would have been nice to happen, but
we'll see. I think we've covered a lot. We're already we're like an hour and like 45 minutes on this one. We went long. I'm gonna wrap up. It's already 9. I'm gonna probably wrap up in like the next minute. Unless you guys really have anything to add. Before we do close out, there was no guest last week. It was just so I don't really have anybody to shout out or thank. But I do thank you two guys for coming on. I kept checking. Chris was not in the queue the entire time, so he wasn't able to come on, obviously, and neither was Andrew. But I do thank you guys for coming on and being part of the show tonight and bringing your input to the show and your knowledge, as always. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it, bro. Good to be back, and let's continue to keep growing. Let's continue to keep going the podcast, man.
Yeah, definitely.
We're gonna bring you guys for another show though. Like when you guys gotta come for something other than sports, but it's will become the sports hour, like the special episodes of sports is becoming you guys, Philly Faces, Heath, Chris may come, Andrew came once, but of course Rich Mitchell is another one that comes.
Well, I mean, with the Sixers starting in the playoffs, man, maybe you guys can do some more podcasts, like especially if it's like a Philly Brooklyn Eastern Conference final, man. That's definitely something that we all have to cover.
On Wednesday, perhaps like a small show.
We'll definitely have some more sports ones. I mean, sports is in our logo. You know what I mean? That's why I say personal development, sports, and then we'll be playing this. What up?
Yeah, for sure.
No sleep till Brooklyn.
Wow.
It's gonna be the motto.
Yeah, Philly is up. Philly is up 56-34.
Just like that, man. 22-point lead. Let's close it out. Let's go. Get the 1 seed tonight.
Let's get it on.
We'll probably get the 1 seed by halftime.
We're 148 in there, but
no. You cannot sleep. We got to play the entire 48.
Nah, I think halftime's considered the end of this game, bro. We'll put Orlando out of its
problem with some games this year.
Sixers have been blowing leads. We can't have that. We got to play all 48.
We got to do it, man. We got to do it, guys. Let's just hope we go to the conference final, which by the way could go. I mean, it could definitely, it's very possible.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time the Sixers, fun fact, first time the Sixers, if we win tonight, number one, we clinch the division. We beat Brooklyn because we're the only team that's chasing us is Brooklyn. We clinch the division, and we get the number one seed. First time since 2001, since Allen Iverson was here. And obviously, we went to the finals against
20
the
years
Lakers
ago.
2 decades ago. This is the first time we clinched the one and won the division in 20 years.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Went to the finals.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Right.
They got to do it. They got to do
Philly.
it.
So go Sixers, guys. Just gonna wrap it up there, George. Just any quick thank yous to give out, like before we.
Just a thank you to our supporters. I mean, everybody from Marius to Heath, my man Dan Carnegie, Frank Fuller, of course, our own very own Thomas right here, Tom Vaughn, my man Reds. Tom Vaughn, Tom knows a lot about soccer too. Don't ever get confused. He knows that he's rep stuff. So Tom is the man right now. Some of our fans, a lot of the guys and girls that check out our podcast. Again, I mean, you might not seem that way, but analytics are definitely growing, guys. And yeah, some episodes are better than others, but this is probably one of the better ones yet. And very thankful for everybody helping us grow, and we're just kind of going to continue growing. We're not going to give too much away this time, but we usually do the closing statements. We talk about what's going on a little, but as you guys can see, we have changed a little and updated a little platform. Although we all like Zoom, but this is a little different because you kind of do more. Like you could put a number to call, so we could improve the podcast. And please let us know if there's ways that you guys think we can improve our podcast. And
yeah, man, my personal honest opinion, I actually like this one more than Zoom. Personally speaking, I think if you guys were to make a decision moving forward, I think you should use StreamYard more than Zoom.
With a duck, StreamYard. What do you think, Tom? You like Zoom better?
Zoom isn't even better than if you remember Uvu. Uvu was better. I don't know where the Zoom came from, but Zoom's like kind of lame.
Ulu, what the fuck was that?
Uvu, you don't remember Uvu, man?
No, I remember it. I remember
Uvu, bro. Too old for you.
I remember hearing about it. Yeah, but this is better. I think we're just trying to figure out better streams. It
was like Skype, but it wasn't like. It was like
it was Skype ahead of Skype, way before Skype came out, probably 10 years before Skype or something like that, or 5 years before Skype.
Do so many things with this because look, you can put social media up in the top right. Like there's so many things you can do with this compared to Zoom for sure.
Yeah, that's why I like it, man. It's pretty awesome
with the overlays.
Yeah,
the overlays like that and stuff. You can do different things, and then you could take away that, put up the podcast logo, and then there's that, and there's so many things you can do,
bro. It's gonna be a good month, man. The Sixers go to make the playoffs and go next stage. It's my birthday month, so it's almost summer. It's a lot going on. Anything you say, Steve? Any more small shout outs, BJ shout out, anything? No, right? Good, right?
Yeah, I'm good. I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. I'm just gonna leave it with the end note that I put at the bottom. Go Sixers. Let's lock it up tonight. And again, just thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
No problem. I'll probably catch up with you guys or talk to you guys this week.
It was a pleasure, guys. Definitely got to do it again, okay?
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, if nothing else, have a good night. Have a great weekend. Let's go Sixers.
Yep.
You got it, man. Have a good night. Good night, everyone. Take care.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.